very first launch of 317 Mastermind Business Academy. And so excited to have you guys joining us, and also very excited to have my good friend David Anderson talking with us about vision. So today's topic is visionary vibes for CEOs. Each of these Wednesday calls will be different. They'll always be at 3 o'clock Central. They will not go over 30 minutes. And then after the call, 317 members are welcome to have one-to-one with whoever the speaker is. So with that, I would love to introduce you to my friend, David Anderson. Take it away, David.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everyone. How is it? Hey, so we want this to be really interactive, okay? So y'all do me a favor and unmute, just unmute. I want to hear you. I want to touch you, or as close as I can to touching you. Just unmute so you can jump in here. And if you just Tracy knows me that if you don't jump in, I'll choose you to jump in. I have no problem with that whatsoever. We're going to talk about vision today. It's one of those things that sometimes people look at as maybe a four-letter word because they don't know how to apply it. They don't know what to do with it. I think they think that that vision is like, that's where that robed mystic, gets all dozied up and he ascends the mountaintop and he sits there in contemplative meditation for days, maybe weeks or months, until finally the vision comes to him. And then he carries it carefully down the mountain and delivers it to all the people in the village so that they have things to do. It instructs them on what they should be doing. But that's a myth, I'm pretty sure. What do you say? So what really, to you, what do we mean by vision? Anybody got any ideas? Oh, you all chickened out on me. You muted again. Don't make me lecture. I will.
Vision is the thing that you're moving towards, growing towards, where you hope to be. The forward-looking forecast.
Good. What else?
I think vision is what makes you happy. Whether it's life, what's going to make you happy in your life and in vision, in your business.
All right, cool. I'll give you a definition. This is my definition. Vision is a vivid picture of a specific, guess what, destination. A specific destination, a desired future that's both descriptive and challenging. Please remember that. It also specifies the way an organization or a person is going to work and the essence of what people can expect if they're going to work there. What do you think? You going with that? All right. So how do we learn to be a visionary? How do we really take that vision and devise it and care for it? And how do we do it? What do you think? You're gonna make
write it down.
That's
write it down.
Start.
Find mentors.
What else? Think about this. Everybody's been on vacation at least once in their life, right? How did that vacation start?
Planning.
Making a plan.
You saw something, maybe an advertisement, and you said, "Hey, I'd like to go to, Europe, or I'd like to go, if you got kids, to Disneyland," right? And then what happened? So you said you wanted to go to Disneyland, then you started putting all these other things in there that you wanted to happen while you were on your vacation, while you went to Disney World or to Europe, depending on who you are and how many kids you have, right? So think about that. And from there, you start to develop a plan. Am I going the right direction? Y'all are letting me lecture. Come on, don't let me lecture. Jump in here. Help me out.
Got destination, make a plan to get there. We're with you, David.
Destiny. I know you're with me. I know you're all with me.
And a budget.
And a budget. That comes second. Actually, if you look at vision in the big scope of things, vision fits into an equation of vision, then alignment, then execution. And so the vision starts first. First, you decide where you want to go, where you want to be, what you want to do there. Then you start talking about the plan. How are you going to get there? Where are you going to stay? How much fun are you going to have? How much money are you going to spend, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? So from there, that's how you learn to be a visionary. You do the same thing when you go to the grocery store, right? You go to the same thing, you go through the same thing when you go through your day. You have a vision of what your day is going to look like every day, whether you realize it or not. So how do you take all that and fit it into your business and into your life? Come on. All right. So the way that you do it is you do something a little bit differently than the mystic on the mountain did. For example, they assumed that they had the ability to craft a vision, that it was innate, that we're born with the capacity to form a vision. And that trait was possessed, and it was truly a gift to them. They did all their vision crafting by themselves. It was an independent activity, and then they brought the vision to everybody else. They were a little bit magical about their vision, but we here, when we create our vision, we learn to craft an effective, compelling vision by working on it, by coaching, by collaborating with others, by really thinking about where we need to go. Some of the greatest visions that we've seen out there actually are through contributions from other people. So when I talk to CEOs about crafting their vision, I often encourage them to talk to literally everyone that is willing to listen. Sometimes your family can help, sometimes your colleagues can help, sometimes your employees can help. Everybody from the janitor to the top of the heap. You can get information that helps you craft that vision from just about anybody. And leaders at all levels of an organization. It doesn't have to be just the CEO. It can be everybody in the organization. In fact, the best organizations out there are organizations where the CEO crafts his vision and then through collaboration allows other people within his organization to attach their vision to his. It's a little bit difficult, but those are the best organizations there are, because people now have a way for them to be successful by helping you to be successful. Does that make sense? Everybody still with me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I got one. All right. So why is a vision important? What do you think?
Creates a roadmap.
Creates a roadmap. What else?
How do you get there if you don't know where you're going?
Exactly. How do you get there if you don't know where you're going? What else?
It sets the target. It gives you direction.
Okay, good. Anything else?
It paints a picture for maybe
Absolutely.
investors or team members.
Absolutely. Any kind of stakeholder, they want to know those things. They want to know what you're thinking, not just crafting a vision that you can use to talk to your customers or to the public or in your advertising and marketing. Everybody's come up with those things. How many people have heard, a bazillion mission statements out there in the past? Every time you turn around, here's our mission statement. Here's our mission statement. But in every case, the mission statement that they give to the public and the mission statement they operate on are two different things, sometimes significantly different. Whereas a vision, which is really what I want to know about, because that defines your future. Where are you headed? Where are you going to go? In fact, I thought there's a really cool saying from Helen Keller. Everybody knows who Helen Keller is, right? Anybody not know who Helen Keller is? Helen Keller said, the only worse thing than being blind is having sight, but no vision. That's really appropriate, don't you think? Sometimes we don't see very well. Sometimes we need help seeing. And we can get clear vision that's really crucial for our success by sitting down and developing, crafting our vision. Make sense so far? So here it is. You guys mentioned some of the things. A clear vision provides direction. It's achievable. That's a really important one. If you've come up with a vision that is just so far out there that it's impossible to reach, it's a pipe dream, folks. Your vision has to be achievable, has to be reachable. Now, I'm not telling you to not make it challenging, because do make it challenging. If you look at your vision and it looks easy, oh, I can make that no sweat. Probably not difficult enough. If it doesn't scare you a little bit, you probably should take another try at it. Vision helps you stay aligned with your core values. When you formulate your vision, when you craft your vision, your core values should play a very intricate, direct role in the crafting of your vision. And it should be a collaborative process. Why do you think we say it should be collaborative?
Because no one can get there alone.
Good. Can't get there alone. What else?
You might not be thinking big enough.
That's usually the case. I've in almost every case that I've been involved in vision crafting with my clients, it's never big enough. It's so easily achievable. It's like stretch goals. You know, we like those stretch goals. Oh, well, last year we did this, so this year we're going to do 10% more. You know, so you technically stretch, but you're really not challenged by it, because you know that you're not going to suggest that number be so big you can't reach it, right? So guess what? Here's the selling point of the whole vision thing. The whole vision thing is organizations that have an active vision, triple underscore the word active. That means you're using it. That means it's something that's part of your everyday life. Organizations that have an active triple underscore vision grow at, what do you think? What do you think the rate is? Here it is. They grow at 10 times the rate of companies without a vision. That's huge. That's huge. Organizations that have an active vision, that means by an active vision, that means you've got that vision that you've worked on so hard and you've gotten it to where you've honed it to where you like it so well, and then you actually align with it. You put the appropriate strategic plan in place, and then you execute. And if you're not doing those three things, vision, alignment, and execution, it's not an active vision. So you have to have an active vision. And if you do, people who are in your industry will be outgrown by 10x. That's pretty impressive, I think. Is that worth sitting down and working on a vision? Does that make it worth it? It's a lot of work. It doesn't happen overnight. All right. So let's talk about the attributes of a strong vision. Anybody want to throw a couple in? What's the first thing? It must inspire you. Strong vision. What do you think second? It must move us forward. Y'all are making me work really hard here. I don't want to be first next time, Tracy. The third thing is a vision. What's that?
You're fine.
I know, I'm just joking. A vision can help us stand out from our competition. Why do you think that's the case? I just told you. You're growing 10 times the speed that they're growing. So it's helping you to stand out, right? Absolutely. People who have a vision, an active vision again, grow at 10x what their competition is. A vision provides purpose and it affects strategy. What's the difference between strategy and planning? What's the difference? Strategy and planning. Where do goals go? All right. So vision, you're laughing at me, Beth. I see that. Vision is part of vision is part of strategy. Vision is part of strategy. Goals are part of planning. You sometimes get those mixed up. You actually have a vision before you have goals. Sometimes we just want to go, here are my goals. That's my strategic plan. You know, and that's about over 80% of companies, large and small, of all sizes, has that type of approach to it. 80%. And here's my goals. We're gonna increase 10% next year over this year. And that's as far as they get, but they don't really have a plan for getting there because they don't have a vision. They don't know how to start from where they are and go to where they want to be. So
the reason for my laugh wasn't laughing at you. It's because I'm an accountant and I'm a bookkeeper, and I typically come in the risk management stuff. So I'm all about the goals, and I'm just laughing because this is a friction point for me with my clients. So it wasn't about you.
So when I start talking about vision, and I tell my clients that, you know, it's not about money. They look at you like you have three eyes. But really, at the end of the day, it is not about money. It's about strategy that has money as an offshoot, as a side effect. Really, because think about it. If you simply put up a goal that says, okay, I'm going to be a $2 million a year company. What's that mean? What can you do with that? You can't do anything with it. And how many people have ever done that? I'm going to be a $2 million company and never reached it. Can you say everybody? Because you can't reach that goal. You might get lucky. You might. But the fact is, if you've got a vision with a strategic plan that now has that goal that I'm going to be a $2 million company, then you can go backwards and figure out what you need to do within the context of your vision to reach that $2 million. Does that make sense? Or you all think I'm nuts? Thanks, Beth. I really appreciate it. So let's talk about crafting a vision. How do you do it? How would you do it? Tell me if I told you to go craft a vision, how would you do it? I can wait. I got time.
How I would craft a vision is I would visualize what I wanted it to look like. I would position what it would look like, and then I would honestly see how it felt with that vision, how it tied in to an additional factory sense. How I tend to do that is I want 30x, the room feels like this, it smells like this, where there's a loud noise because people are collaborating, there's glassware clinking, like whatever that is. And I could be very wrong, but that's how I would start.
That's a good start. One of my favorite exercises is giving everybody a sheet of paper and some crayons and asking them to draw their vision. And how we instruct them is, first we say, remain open. Don't close your mind on anything. Decide right off the bat that while you're crafting your vision, you're going to accept every idea that comes either from you or from anybody else. You're going to initially accept them, and then you want to prioritize the big picture, whatever the big picture is to you. Your big picture might be different from mine, but always prioritize the big picture. And you know how you do that? Here's the part that people hate. You get there by reflecting on your core values, your personal values, your passions, your goals, your company's strengths, its weaknesses. Do a SWOT analysis. That's a great way to start it. Opportunities, threats. Look at all those things and put them together in a way that's meaningful, that starts to fit into how you think about it. And then always seek counsel. I know we all want to make our plans, we don't always enjoy sharing them with other people because we don't like the possibility of being criticized, right? Anybody ever felt like that? Heck yeah, we all have, right? But seriously, seek counsel, talk to your coach, your friends and family. And if somebody decides to tell you, well, you can't do that, you're never going to make that, just walk away and talk to them at Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever. Talk to your employees, your colleagues. Make it a collaborative thing. Make it big. I mean, make it big. If you're not scared, when you're done with your vision, if you're not scared, it's not big enough. Challenge yourself. Say key components. Okay, I'll lecture on this, okay? Key components: aspiration. Aspiration. That means your desired outcome. That's got to be part of your vision, right? That's the biggest part. The desired outcome. What do you want that to look like? What do you want your picture to look like? Then the second thing is inspiration. What do we have to be inspired? Inspiration gives you the emotional impact. That's what gives you the capacity to accept it and to align yourself with your vision. That's what helps other people align themselves with your vision. I want to tell you, to stop for a second and give you a little secret here. When you're in the alignment stage, when you've shared your vision with other people, they're going to do several things. Some people who like you and think you're a great leader, great business people, they're going to align themselves with your vision right away. They're not going to hesitate at all. I know that Gary is an awesome leader. He runs a wonderful show. I'm going with him, and whatever it takes to get his vision, we're gonna make it happen. There might be other people who say, well, I heard him talk about his vision, and I kind of like it, but I got to think about it for a while. And then there's that third person who I call them wagon jumpers, because they're thinking about it. They're not so sure at first. They're usually one of the last to get on Gary's wagon. And they I don't know, I'm not sure. And they ultimately get on the wagon because everybody else did. And occasionally there's those people who they can't get their arms around it. They don't understand what the vision's all about. They're not sure that they like the leader here. They can't decide whether they like the plan. So they never get on board. And honestly, what happens to those people? They either leave your organization or you end up firing them because they're not there. And that's, you have one person there that is against what everybody else is doing, and it spoils a whole lot for everybody. So really, the inspiration part, the emotional impact, it's really important. It's really important that not only come up with that wonderful vision, but be able to tell others about it, be able to help them understand. Maybe a little persuasion is necessary, but you have to really allow people to go through that whole process. And, as people who are leading organizations, we tend to say, okay, here it is. I want all of you on board next week. But folks, I'm here to tell you, it doesn't happen like that. I mean, it could take months for some people to get on board. Months. And the whole time, as the person leading the organization, you're frustrated because they don't. But I'm telling you, that's how it works. When you have people in the room with you, there will always be some who say, hey, I don't know, I'm going to think about this. And they think about it for a long time before they finally commit to it. So it's important that you understand that inspirational part of the process. You really understand the emotional impact, because that's what's governing how this whole thing develops. Then the third thing is uniqueness. Why do you think we need to be unique? Any ideas?
Need to stand out, be something new and different.
Differentiates you, right? Yeah, so you got to have uniqueness. Make sure that's part of your, part of your vision. Time frame. I just warned you about this one. Be careful with time frame. What do you think? We all put a time frame on it, and you should, but you have to be willing to extend the end of the time frame, because there might always be somebody that's not quite on board. So the last thing is, and this takes us in to the next step of the equation here. So vision, alignment, execution. The next part is communicating and living the vision. I know that people are really good about making a strategic business plan. Anybody have their strategic business plan that's not in the bottom drawer of that file cabinet over there and it hasn't been out for 2 years? Anybody got one of those? That same thing happens with your vision. Certainly write it down, but the place that a vision belongs is on your desk, on the top of your desk, so that every day in your reflection time, everybody has reflection time, right? 5 minutes at the end of the day, 5 minutes at the end of the day, all you need to do is say, hey, did I actually move closer to my vision today? That's all you got to do. How much closer am I today? And then you have to take the time to let people know within your organization, outside your organization, what your vision really is. Doesn't matter whether it's your employees, your customers, your investors, whoever the stakeholders are, they want to know. That's how you live it. Every day, you emphasize the importance of aligning all your daily actions, all of them, and decisions with your vision. It's not easy to do, but 10 times the growth of those without. And those without represented by over 80% of the organizations out there. So look, 10 times, trust me, it's worth all the work. It's worth all the work. You can put in, it's worth the time to not only put it together, but it's worth those everyday moments to say, hey, this fits with our vision. This fits with our plan. This fits with how we're going forward. Anybody got any questions? That's kind of it in a nutshell. Man, I did good. We've got 2 minutes left.
That was awesome. That was
That was
awesome.
great. Thanks, David.
Any questions? Any thoughts?
I'll
Okay.
just jump in and say one thing. So this portion of the meeting does end at 3:30. And now I feel like mom who told the kids they have to go to bed at 9, but I'm going to let them stay up until 10 o'clock. Since this is our first inaugural business academy, I'm cool with it, David, if you are, if anyone who wants to stay on and dig into this a little further. I know you've given another 30 minutes to members. We do have 1317 member on this call, Gary Aldridge, but I'm good with people staying on if you want to dig into this topic more.
I'll stay here. You guys got to ask questions though. I'm not lecturing anymore. It's up to you now.
I have lots of questions, but I don't want to go first. You guys go ahead. You first, please.
I got one.
Okay.
As far as, creating a vision statement, not that this is too important, but obviously you want it to be precise and catchy. Is there a general suggestion of keeping it just kind of like one short line that's really powerful, having it be a couple of sentences? I'm sure you don't want it to have, be too long.
So you're right. Your vision statement, you want it to be succinct, to the point, and fairly short. Where you can expand on that is when you get to your planning stage. When you get to alignment's where all the planning happens. That's where you want to expand. You want to define roles, help people to understand what it's all about, how you got there, et cetera, et cetera. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. And then I guess a follow-up question. I know this is all about the vision, but I know a lot of times the vision and the mission statement go hand in hand. Like for instance, my mission and vision are very different, but they're both like the vision is kind of the picture that I'm trying to paint, and then the mission is kind of what exactly are we going to be able to, what are we doing to make the vision a reality? Is that
Okay.
kind of a good way to kind of relate the two together?
So mission, that's who we are today.
Okay.
The vision, that's who we want to be when we grow up.
Awesome.
Make sense?
Yeah.
And what we try to do with the vision in the planning stage, in the alignment stage, is to come up with a plan, a roadmap, if you will, of how to get from the mission where we are today to where we want to be. And we always portray it as a straight line, but you and I we all know that it's never a straight line. It's very circuitous.
Yeah.
But the fact is, as you make adjustments along the way, as long as you're going toward your vision, that's the important part. Anybody else? Tracy, you may be up.
So, okay, so my question is, I feel this way, and I hear this from entrepreneurs that I work with. It used to be people would talk about like a 10-year vision, and what's an appropriate length of time? Like right now for me, I would say through the end of this year feels good. So,
Okay, that's fair. So here's the thing to remember. Everybody has different capabilities and capacities when it comes to seeing the future, right? We all love to see that, 5 or 10 year out there plan, but the fact is it's hard for most people to see that far in advance. And some people are pretty comfortable with a 4 or 5, 6 month. And that's okay. If you want to stay in that short period and have these little chunks where you can set your vision, work your way to it, and then set it out again. Remember, a vision is fluid. It's a live document that always is ever changing. And there are going to be times when you had a 2-year vision, let's say, and you got to month 18 and you saw some things a little bit differently. So you're already beginning to revise your vision. And that, so everybody has a different level of comfort. And I think that, there is no set thing. If you can see 5 years, fantastic. If you can see 5 months, that's fantastic too.
awesome. Thank you. Other questions? What if you've got a company that's been in business for like 20 years or something, and the vision is slapped up on the wall somewhere, but maybe they're getting ready for like an exit. They're getting ready to, sell or, pass the business on or whatnot. What would you say to that kind of owner?
So he's committed to selling his company.
Mhm.
And what year of those 20 years was it when they put that one up on the wall?
Maybe 8 years ago.
Okay. But you think it still applies?
Not sure. Just,
I-
I guess the question is, what role would revisiting the vision play in a company that's getting ready for that kind of exit?
Well, a couple things. First of all, I mean, as your company is ongoing, you want to continue to have something that keeps it ongoing, right? So you have to have a vision so that you can get to the point, whatever that point is, to where you can sell. Here's the other piece of that coin is, and that is small business people in particular seem to get to the point where they want to sell their company before they're actually in a place where they can sell it. Often I've been exposed to guy who says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to sell my company next year," but they're not ready. They don't have the appropriate financial documents in place. They've been playing the game from a little bit of a skewed view for a long time, and they simply can't. They're not ready. And more often than not, it takes 3 to 5 years to get a company ready to sell. So if you're a small company and you want to sell your company, just know that very few times are you able to just say, hey, I'm going to sell it, and next week I'm going to have a buyer. It doesn't happen that way. And the sad part is for a lot of small businesses, you don't get to sell. I'm sorry to be the deliverer of that bad news, but we all work our tails off thinking that we can sell this thing and we're going to get $1 million when we sell it, and the fact is you end up with nothing because you can't find a buyer. That's just the way that it is for a lot of small businesses, and a lot of us aren't made to be in business for 40 or 50 years and then sell it. Doesn't happen. That just doesn't.
What other questions do you guys have? Thanks, David.
All right.
What are some examples of some of the best visions you've seen from people? Like, what are some examples? I don't know about anyone else on this call, but I love examples.
So, everybody's different. Everybody sees things from a little bit different angle. They talk about them a little bit differently. They have the people who have the best visions are the people who, in my estimation, are the most collaborative, who aren't afraid to go out and say to whomever, well, listen, here's what I'm thinking. Here's my vision. Here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? And sometimes you get some really valuable feedback by doing that. It doesn't matter whether you're talking with your friends, your family, your buddies at the bar, you're talking with your partner at dinner, whatever the case may be. The ones that are collaborative seem to me to be the ones that turn out to be the best.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to hear from some of the people who are on this call. What are your what are your visions right now? Or what is your vision now? Unless you have any other questions for them, David.
Everybody's got that smile going.
They're like, I thought I was coming here to make a vision. It's not easy, is it?
I'm happy to share mine.
That'd be great.
So I've been working on this, just a little background. I'm in the very early stages of raising capital to open up a gym and coffee shop hybrid that allocates funds to combat child trafficking. So the mission, very simple and sweet. It's rescue children, drink coffee, and get fit. Like just, short, simple, kind of funny. The vision though, and I'm constantly updating this, is to be a community gathering place, workout destination, and platform for raising awareness and funds to combat child trafficking through group fitness, coffee conversations, and education. So a little wordy on that, but trying to kind of paint a picture of the place.
So it's okay to be wordy if you're developing that for yourself and for your stakeholders and or bankers, whatever it may be. That's great.
I love that,
do you have it all in writing?
I do. Yeah.
All right, good. Do you have the plan in writing?
I do.
All right. I'm proud. What'd you come on here for?
Just trying to learn and be open-minded and collaborate, like you said.
Thing. That open mind and collaborative is they're very, very helpful when it comes time to put together a really good vision. Thanks, David.
Yeah, thank you.
Who else has a vision that you are comfortable sharing? What about you, Beth?
We're picking on you. Sorry.
It's because I have such a lovely smile. I know. My vision for my accounting firm or bookkeeping firm is currently I have a very unique situation that's come up. Is I'm very good at data conversions, converting from one software to another. And my vision is that I would like to have